first tip I'm going to give you is to always keep your shotgun out. When you have your shotgun out in fights, you can be prepared for your opponent to make an end on you like this. If you have your build out and your opponent makes an end on you, you can't automatically shoot them and get damage. The second tip I'm going to give you is to learn how to set up fights properly. If you're coming up on a box and somebody's boxed up like this, don't just start swinging on their wall. Make a box out to the side and set up a good angle to where you can hit their wall and really set up their peak. The third tip I'm going to give you is to use different peaks during a fight. Don't just use the same window edit or peanut butter peak that everybody uses. You can use peaks like the full top row to catch your opponent off guard with shots like that. And another peak that I like to use is I like editing the first window, baiting a shot there, coming on the second one, and ending. The fourth tip is to always keep applying pressure on your opponent. If your opponent's boxed up back here, and you already know that they're low, and you're coming up on their box from say back here, don't just sit there and wait for them to heal up. Always apply pressure with your AR, or even when you get up close, you can keep applying pressure with your pickaxe and your shotgun. The fifth tip I'm going to give you is know when to play passive and when to play aggressive. If you got cracked by your teammate and you know you're low, don't just automatically swing up on someone's wall because they're just going to end on you and easy kill you. Start to make space and play passively until you can get heals on. The sixth tip leads in with the fifth tip because the sixth tip is to always make a bunch of boxes in different ways so you can heal up during your fights. Don't just make one straight box back. You can start going multiple ways and leaving your boxes open like this. So when you're popping off a heal, you can walk back through your builds and your opponent can't shoot you while you're popping your heals. The seventh tip I'm going to give you is to use piece control to finish fights fast. So you don't get third partiers that will come up behind you and kill you sneakily. If you're in a fight like this, and you see that your opponent's going to start to edit out the back side of the box, you can come over top and use piece control to set up a full box on them and then you get damage. The eighth tip is that when you box up, make sure you always have a cone in your box. Because if an opponent takes your wall, you can flip your cone and either go out to the sides or even go out the top. The ninth tip is you could bait enemies with your pickaxe to maybe get them to open and edit and you can get an easy shot off. You can fake pickaxing on someone's wall, and if they open and edit, then it's just an easy shot. And you want to be not predictive with your pickaxe swings. You want to make sure you're always being unpredictable. So the first time you could swing once, the next time you could fake swing, and the next time you can maybe swing twice. I know that they say never to swing twice, but swinging twice can sometimes catch your opponent off guard, and sometimes you can hit the wall. The ninth tip I have for you is to bait your enemies by editing quickly. If you take your opponent's wall right here, don't just make one simple edit. You can bait enemies by editing and resetting. I like doing this move a lot in fights, because when you edit and reset, the opponent shoots your wall, and then you get an easy shot off of them and can retake the wall and do further piece control from there. The next tip I'm going to give you is make sure you know how to pre-fire consistently. Because when you're boxed up and your opponent swings on your wall, being able to pre-fire can get you out of very sticky situations and get easy damage off on your opponent. When you're in a box and you're in a 50-50 with someone, don't just stand there and start shooting around or just stand like a still bot. Make sure you're crouching up and down and jumping around so you can be unpredictable and unshootable from your opponent. The next tip I'm going to give you is to make sure you're using window edits to piece control your opponents, because if you use an open edit like this to make a full box on someone going out this way, you're an easy shot. Make sure you use a window like this so you can stand behind the window and still get the full box. The next tip kind of leads off with the same tip with that tip from before, is make sure you're always using right hand peeks when peeking on your opponent, because you have the advantage, and Fortnite is a very right hand peek based game. If you make a peek on the left side, your opponent can see you and you may not be able to see them. If you make a peek on the right side, then you can shoot your opponent without them even being able to touch you. The next tip is if you see somebody boxed up and you want to get inside the box and you know that they're low, you can use a trick called the ramp face trick. I like to use this a lot when I know my opponent's very weak and I just want to jump in. Just like that. This next tip also leads off of the ramp face trick, but this one takes a little bit more skill and practice. You want to come up to the wall, make sure it's one tap, and if you jump and phase in the correct time, you can get in the box. With a little bit of practice, you can master both these techniques, and you can get easy free kills. With a cone, you can piece control people from more than 2 boxes away. A cone is the furthest build that you can place, so you can use it to your advantage. If somebody's box up here, and then they rotate to this box, but they forget to leave a cone on the roof, you can grab the cone from way back here, and then you can come up and start to break the roof. And if you get the roof, then it's just easy piece control from there. The next tip I want to give you is very important. When somebody's boxed up, or even just building, you want to make sure you're tracking your opponents and where they're going through their builds, so you can piece control them. If you see your opponents are going to start to go out the backside of their box, then you can come over here and free box where they're going. You also want to look at your opponent's wall's health, so you can see if you can take it or not. Looking at wall's health is very crucial in this game to taking walls. You can pickaxe the wall if it's 75 health or under, and swing pickaxe once and take it. The next tip I want to give you is make sure you're behind the wall before you confirm your edit. Because when I go up a lot of opponents, they edit their wall and confirm it before they get behind the wall, and it's just a free shot on them. You want to hold your edit out like this, swing behind the wall, confirm it, and then peek. The next 2 tips I'm going to give you are very simple but very crucial to this game. The 22nd tip is going to be to master your mechanics. Mastering your mechanics can make sure that you know what to do in fights and can fight confidently. The 23rd tip, people always skip out on because of how simple it is, and it's just simply watching pros gameplay. Watching pros can let you learn new playstyles, watch their rotations, and learn crucial things about the game that you might have never known. Thanks for listening to my 23 tips. Make sure you like and subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions.